Well, my name is Ted Stovin. He is Dustin Edwards, and this is episode 148 of Cowboy Shit, the podcast. Calgary Stampede's over, and Canada won 4 of 6 events. And I do not know if there has been a Calgary Stampede since the format change that ended that way.
Yeah, and with that few Canadians in there, so the numbers, you start putting the calculators out and the percentages, they did
quite well.
Good.
Quite well.
Man, that was exciting.
66% of the events with 16% of the contestants.
Yeah.
Not bad.
And
not bad.
And I made a post about 200,000 staying in the Great White North, and then someone added
400,000.
Well, yeah, it could have been, but then they added Ben Anderson getting second and Kyle Lucas getting second.
And then I wonder about Jared Parsons. Does he get all the ground money?
Do you know what? When they posted up the graphic and it said 50,000 beside his name and then nothing for anybody else, I thought they pay ground money every other day. I have a feeling
he should win an extra.
He should get it all.
He should. So I'm curious. I wonder if maybe there's something in the ground rules that says that's not the case.
So he would get.
I don't know.
What's the rest of the ground money? It's another
40 grand.
Yeah.
Because 20,000 for second, 20, 15, 10.
I think that's right.
So that's another 45 grand.
You meant 95,000.
35 grand.
35?
85,000. It's the same thing as Robert Bowers won 85,000.
Yeah.
Back in 04, maybe he won it.
Yeah.
I forget now. Anyways.
But they won a shit ton of money.
Yeah, they did great.
And I was on the tarmac with editor Sean Morton watching the fours. And again, sound like a broken record, but it's awesome when Canada wins. And that place was going nuts.
I bet.
It was damn cool.
Yeah.
To see those guys win and then run up there and get the money. Hate to say it, but it was really cool that a guy from wherever won the bareback riding. But when they run up and they say this guy's from Alberta or Canada, that place went nuts.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Maybe that's a hint to our friends at the Calgary Stampede. Hey, it's not that bad when the Canadians win. It's not that bad when we have a few Canadians in the mix.
But you know what though? Good rodeo, good stampede. I thought
it's better when we win.
Yeah, it's way better when we win. If we were skunked, it'd be it'd be way different. But it was cool to see all those guys win and
I'm really
now looking at the world standings today.
Yeah,
that's huge.
Juiced everybody up, and we talk about with our guest this week, Beau Cooper. He literally got into the Stampede through his CFR qualifications. If it wasn't for that, and he had to go through the world standings, he finished 35th last year.
He's not in.
He is not in the Stampede.
Yeah.
Does not win the event.
He won 2 go-rounds at the CFR, bumped him up to 3rd in Canada.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for that, he is not collecting that check.
Kind of important to have the Canadians in the mix, Calgary Stampede.
And he originally thought that he got in from the tour.
Yeah.
Which used to be a spot in and wasn't the case.
Yeah.
So
anyways, I think there's some tweaking to do on the new bigger and better format in Calgary.
But we won't let that overshadow the fact that they kick some ass.
Yeah.
Took some money.
And hopefully next year they can finally get back to $100,000 checks for the winners. That'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
Anyways, moving on. We've talked about Calgary 3 shows in a row. Teepee Creek, I went for the first time. We had a really fun time up there. Unfortunately, the wagons got canceled the last night, but my first time in Teepee, I enjoyed the show.
4 days in the wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
I used to announce that rodeo.
Yeah.
And it was a hell of a good
Doug.
Brett.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was a hell of a good time. I remember they had they still had the big limo with the
I didn't see the limo.
So they had a limo, and I'm pretty sure
maybe it still exists, but I didn't see it.
I'm pretty sure it might have been Keenan Vine's friend of the show last time he fought bulls. Pretty sure it was Keenan.
Really?
They drove the limo in at the start of the bull riding, right into the arena, and the bullfighters would jump out the limo to start the bull riding.
Oh, really?
And it was badass. And that place just packs it. When I was up there back then, it was nitty gritty dirt band on a Friday night. And and when they say 4 days in the wild, it doesn't feel like you're in the wild, but the people are fucking wild. It was a party up there. Because what does Teepee Creek have? A post office and 10 people?
They got a store.
There's
nothing, but I just see a store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. But yeah, you had a good weekend up there, and I used to love it up there. It was fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. The only what I say? It was just solid. The whole thing was solid. The wagons getting canceled last night were tough finish. And then trying to make something up to make it work. That was tough finish. But still, yeah, it was fun to hang out. I enjoyed the heck out of hanging out with Robert Schmidt, Doug Young, Ash Cooper was there as well.
Oh, was that? Okay.
Yeah, Ash was there. We had a lot of fun, and Matt was with me. And then we had another friend, Nicole, was helping out, kind of trying to show her some of the music side of things. And you guys helped us pack up and set up.
Corb up there.
Yeah, Corb was there. That was pretty awesome. He's got 3 shows that were on the same shows this year between Pinoka, TP, and then Strathmore next month as well. So, yeah, it was awesome. So we're finished up there. Got home Monday. I guess that was last night, and then been home for a while. And we're going to Kelowna this week, and then Lane LaPlante's going to go down to Foremost. Matt's going to finish it up, and then what? And then Steve's in High River. So we kind of got 3 events on the go this weekend.
You're rocking and rolling.
Yeah, and then on Sunday, Storm and I fly to Denver to go to Cheyenne Frontier Days on Monday.
Daddy.
Yeah, but also new news for the folks. You may be listening now on the PBR Podcast Network. So professional bull riders, pioneers in a lot of things in the Western sports world, but the PBR Podcast Network. So here we are. Myself and Dustin were part of the crew. So other shows, Luke Branquino Show, Matt West Live, as well as According to Flint, and a couple more. So check them all out on the PBR Podcast Network if you haven't yet. So
yeah,
here we are.
Gonna be cool to be part of this network and see where it goes.
Exactly.
Yeah, gonna be fun.
So thanks to the PBR for inviting us in, part of the crew. But Dustin, you got like 5 or 6 weeks straight here coming up too. You're going to Morris this weekend.
Yeah, gonna be a good run. Got on the radio for the Chuck Wagons this weekend. So if you're still on the AM dial and you tuned in to 910, I got to do some Chuck Wagon hosting for the final few days, which was really cool.
Yep.
I have not been in the Chuck Wagon world at all, and I had to go like down to the barns and do some interviews before the shows.
Right on.
And the guys are probably like, "Who is this guy?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for Ray.
Yeah. Ray was a beauty. Actually, he's the last guy I seen on my way out Sunday night and said, "Good job." So, shout out to the wagon drivers for being cool. Last time I was friends with them, well, not friends with them. Last time I was around them, we played the Horseshoe Cup. Remember, Ted, in Big Valley? And it was just Chuck Wagon guys beating the shit out of Cowboys and vice versa on the ice. So much fun. Yeah. Then we partied with each other after. Like, that was great.
So ready to bring that back.
So lots of fun doing that. Yeah, we go to Morris and nice tour rodeo there, and then we go tour rodeo the Hat.
Medicine Hat,
and then slingshot into Bruce for the Sunday Fun Day there in Bruce.
On the way back from Medicine Hat.
Yeah, so going to be a nice couple weeks here ahead on the rodeo circuit, and just finished my first day of my new job today.
Yeah. Congrats. We talked about that last show?
Yeah, we kind of talked about it.
The transition.
Yeah.
So, you got into the dome, got to see where you're going to be sitting.
Yeah, I got my new office in the Saddle Dome, and
that's cool.
Yeah, lots of excitement.
Do you have a
window? No, there's not a lot of windows in there. I'm not in the basement of the Saddle Dome or the roof, which I think some people are.
Oh, really?
So I'm just kind of on the main. Well, they got people up everywhere.
Offices in there?
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. There's offices where you'd have no idea.
Really?
Offices, yeah.
No
it's
way.
Really cool.
So where is yours? Like if I'm going to a game,
so if you're in the Telus club
up top,
Telus club in the
the
bottom row, the door like to where my office goes is just like right there. So when I pop out the door to the concourse, I'm like right by the suites and on the end of the Dutton's lounge.
Really?
Yeah, super cool.
No windows.
But
get offices with the windows because there are some.
You got to be important. You got to be like Craig Conroy.
You'll be fancy.
Or the CEO. Yeah.
Okay.
But still super cool. I'm super pumped.
Right on.
Yeah, it's going to be cool, man. I got to go up on the catwalk today. And
this is Tuesday. We started on Monday.
Yeah.
And day one was the golf tournament.
Yeah, Cottonwood. Private course.
Yeah.
Which you get lessons at.
Yeah.
And I got to golf there. And I was teamed up with two ladies from the office, and we shot a 75, which
not bad.
We were happy with.
How many shots of yours did you use?
We used a couple.
72?
No, the girls were good. They were money on the chips.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and the one girl like could crank the ball.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like she outdrove me on a couple holes.
Right on.
She was really good.
Right on.
And so it was super fun. Yeah, I loved it. Yeah, great start. It's been a great week.
Okay, I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah.
Glad to hear it.
And I've been hanging out here.
That's right. Moved in, what?
Sunday?
Yesterday?
Yeah.
Monday.
Monday.
But
yeah.
This is night 2.
So we've had our first dinner as a trio.
We did.
And we get to do our first podcast in person.
In person. It's always nice.
Yeah. So it's been just a hell of a good week, man.
Right on. Awesome. Well, that's a good start to the show. So Thanks everybody for tuning in. Our interview with Beau Cooper, the 2023 Calgary Stampede Champion, coming up right after this. Thanks for staying with us, and talk at you soon. All right, welcome to episode 148 of Cowboy Shit. My name is Ted Stovin. He is Dustin Edwards, and our guest today, Dustin, do you got this bio? Are you?
Well, I can
do an intro.
I can give an intro.
Probably better. You've probably done this a few times.
I can give him an intro.
You're the announcer.
Yeah, he's a pretty special guest. He's currently the number 9 man in the world standings in the PRCA in the tie-down roping. He is the number 4 man in the Canadian standings, Canadian Finals Qualifier last year in the tie-down roping. Former PRCA Resistol Rookie of the Year. He's shot himself a couple of pretty good-looking bucks in his life. He's a former FCA team roping champion, LRA calf roping champion, but I think most importantly today, he's the now reigning $50,000 Calgary Stampede champion. Welcome to the pod, Beau Cooper.
Hey, thank you.
I think the most impressive thing though is the deer he shot. I mean,
yeah, I was gonna say that. I think that might be my favorite stat.
Out of all the stuff I said,
yeah,
I think the deer. This guy's a hell of a hunter. But Beau, you're a hell of a tie-down roper, and you've had a pretty impressive start to your career. I guess we might as well just jump right to. I mean, we said it off the air, but your phone's probably just been going nuts since Sunday because at Sunday around 3:00 you hoisted up a check for $50,000.
Yeah, my phone has been going absolutely crazy. I think I got back to my rope can and I had like over 400 messages. It was absolutely nuts. I didn't get back to everybody. I think today I finally sent out the last thank you.
Beau was one of those really nice guys, just so everybody knows that he would respond to all 400 of them. That's what I like about you, Beau.
I did respond to every single one of them.
But I want you to say what you said to me. I said, has your phone ever been this busy?
Yeah, the only other time was in March, right after Houston, but it was a little different that getting blown up. I was wanting to throw my phone out then.
Holy. Okay, how many people phoned you?
Honestly, not as many as I was expecting.
Just a bunch of text messages.
Just a bunch of text messages. Yeah, I just like some good buddies from back home that called me, and
your grandparents.
I had my grandpa and just people that were real close to me.
Who's the coolest person that sent you a congrats on the win? Was there anyone that you're like, man, this is cool, this guy messaged me?
Honestly, I can't really remember.
They're all cool.
They're all cool.
You got a pretty impressive Rolodex, Beau, at a young age.
Dustin Edwards.
Yeah, Dustin Edwards. Dustin Edwards with the walk up speech coming on the
podcast. So I guess let's go back to Calgary. I mean, that's obviously the hot topic. You tie a 7-second run in the final 4 round. Just take us through your Calgary Stampede first off, because what a whirlwind of a week it was.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess the first round in Pool A got started off pretty decent. I won 3rd in that round. I was just glad to be back there the first round. Excited. That was the first time I'd rode that little mare at a big rodeo, so I was a little nervous about what she was going to be like, but she ended up being badass, and I actually lost my right stirrup in that first round, and so I just kind of had to bail off. Kind of wild, but it worked out. And then second round, I come back and made a damn good run again, but I got the jerk down. She was kind of just running off to the left a little, pretty strong, and I was kind of out there on the end of my rope. I couldn't really do much. That's actually a really good go for that calf because she kind of wants to come up the end of the rope anyway. So anywhere else would have been sweet. But and then the third round, had a really good calf. She freaking dove off there to the right, and we picked her off, and that was actually my fastest run ever. That was my personal best there. I only got to hang on to that one for about 5 days, and then I come back and knocked her off again with the 7 flat.
Were you 7.2 on that run or 7.3?
7.2. Yeah, 7.2. Yeah. My previous one was 7.3 before then, in 2021, my rookie year at Red Lodge, Montana, but I won like 5th place, so that wasn't that cool.
Jeez. What makes it so fast in Red Lodge?
Oh, I don't know. It was just like the setup was so fast, and the calves were just like good little Coriolis. I think 6-7 won it or something, just stupid.
And then on Sunday, you come back for the finals, and was it 8 flat that got you back into the 4 round?
Yep. So then 8 flat in the 12 man. I honestly, it was kind of a little bit of a desperation run, I guess you could say. I don't really know how to put it, but like I just, from the moment I nodded, I was like, holy man, I'm late. I was just like, I knew I was kind of behind, and so I reached at her, and luckily I got her turned around. And then when I went to get my first wrap, she went to stick a leg and kind of strain, and I mean just lucky that I got my first wrap on and got my hui how it did, because she was wanting to get up, and I mean that was a little bit of luck there. And then and then we got to the 4 man, and by that time it was game on, and I pretty well knew it was happening. I didn't know I was gonna be 7 flat, but I had a pretty good feeling that this was all coming together. And I knew I needed to take a way better start. Ty Harris, he said, don't back off. He said, you need to get rolling. And Shane Hanchey actually run that calf the third pool, the third day. He was 7-7 on her, and he's like, she's real good, just she's kind of a little bit leggy flanking. And so they give me those 2 pieces of information, and it's kind of what I went with. And I damn sure got me a start and picked her off right there, and was having to I tried to go to the inside with my slack, and then realized that wasn't going to work at the last minute, so I pulled it back to the outside and was just bearing down, trying to keep her standing. After Riley jerked his down, I wasn't wanting to get the jerk down.
Well, I mean, the emotion, you knew you were fast, obviously, right away. How long till you looked up at the score clock, or could you see it right after you got up?
You know, that's the moment that I've been waiting for my freaking, ever since I started roping calves. You know, when you rope the dummy and you kind of run those scenarios through your head, and you're like, oh man, you got to be whatever 7-2 to win the rodeo. And so that I knew when I threw my hands in the air, I thought I was actually 6. I was pretty ecstatic. Yeah, the only other time I had that feeling too was at Houston, but it only lasted about 2 seconds.
Oh man!
At least this one was way cooler. When I threw my hands in the air, I looked back at the box, and I could see Shane, and he was about 4 foot off the ground, jumping in the air. And I said, that's the only time he's ever been taller than me. And him and he said I was jumping so high I thought I was going to kick Catalina in the ass. And him and Ty were freaking hooping and hollering, and that's what made me freaking do that kind of walking back. And then I got a pretty cool flick out of that one. I think I'm going to have to frame that picture.
Put it right beside the big check.
Mm-hmm.
I got to go back to the 10 round. So I didn't actually get to watch the 10 round. We were in Pool D up in TP Creek. But Pool D. It used to be Pool C, but now it's Pool D. But the 10 round. So you're 8 flat, and like 8 flats, a solid calf rope and run like most places you go. But to make it back, like sometimes that 10 round can be one of the more difficult places. Like you got to beat a lot more people in that one. So like, where'd you end up? I don't actually know, and I didn't look back at anything to know where you ended up, like where you came back, what spot.
Yeah, like if you remember to last year, that 10 man was the toughest round of calf roping I've ever seen in my life. I think I want to, like 7-3 didn't even make the final 4. And
it was a knife.
I want to say like 8-1 was 10th or something, like just absolutely nuts. And so luckily for me, I kind of roped down there towards the bottom, and it wasn't just going, it wasn't shaping up to be like just super tough, but I kind of knew that I just needed to, still had to be fast, but it wasn't like I had to go all out and try to be 6, but it seems like 8 flat is kind of like just that magic number for calf roping, that like if you just get a good start, 3 swings, turn her around, put a wrap or 2 on her, you're kind of right there at 8 flat. It seems like most times. So
really? It's kind of interesting that that happens to be 8 seconds as well.
Yeah, it is kind of weird, huh?
Pretty good rodeo number.
Well, and it was funny, like, and you were talking about that round. It was kind of not a comedy of errors, but like, there was some very uncharacteristic no time. Some guys didn't, like, I think, was it Ty Harris didn't rope his calf in the back of the head, and a couple of guys got flagged out, and it was kind of like,
that was Haven. It
was Haven. Yeah, it was Haven. Yeah.
Yeah.
and it was kind of like, man, this is like, I thought it was going to be like the year before, where it was going to be like, man, you're going to have to be dirty rank in this calf roping to get through. And then all of a sudden, as it went on, it was like, well, this was okay, but but it wasn't like it was the year before. You're certainly right there.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was uncharacteristic. Like Haven, that might be the only one he's missed all year.
Yeah. And
it's crazy.
Those moments happen. So I guess a question for you is, do you got the calf? I remember, was it Morgan Grant when he won? He kept the calf. He won the 100,000. You got that calf at home or what?
Yep. Well, I'm trying to get it home. Freaking Logan sent me a snap. He's sending her to Dog Pound. So I don't know. She's going to one more rodeo. Hopefully they don't win it on her there, and that guy wants to buy her too.
The only thing with Dog Pound is you probably couldn't afford to buy her after.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have a sweet buckle.
That's true.
Yeah.
Those are still cool.
You got a Dog Pound buckle, Beau?
I do not. I'm I think I'm one of the only guys that don't have one. My cousin Adam, he got one. He got 2 actually. I think he got 2 of them, I think. But I told Logan I wanted to buy it. Turns out she's a heifer too, so that's even cooler. But I bought my Houston calf too this year, that little yellow, and I got her home. She's like 350, 400 pounds now. She's big, but
real price of hay this year. You're gonna need that 50,000.
Yes, no kidding. I'm going to get her home too, and then I'll have two little heifers next year, maybe.
Dang. So okay, why did you buy the Houston one though? If with what happened?
Man, honestly, I wanted something out of the Houston deal. I always wanted to buy stuff that I won a big rodeo on, and
you won Houston, so
in my eyes, I felt like I won Houston. So I told Chad Hyatt that I wanted to buy her, and honestly, that's the cheapest calf I bought this year.
Really?
Yeah, I bought a bunch of practice calves this spring too, but that Houston calf, that's been the cheapest one.
How do you get a calf back to Canada? Like, do you just huck her in the trailer with your horses, or what do you do?
No, I actually had to leave her in Sheridan, Wyoming. My good buddy John Kane, he looked after her for me for a month and got all the tests done on her, and then we got her back across the border. My aunt Crean Shuckberg, she hauled him back for me, and it just takes a little time. It's not difficult. I'm sure if you had to do it with 50 or 60, it would be a pain, but it wasn't bad. So
Beau's the only Canadian to import one calf across the line.
Yeah. There's probably some like genetic folks, like guys that have genetics and stuff, though. They'd bring one calf.
Yeah.
Like purebred folks probably.
Yeah.
What the heck? The testing probably costs more than the calf though, to like do all the testing and all that, and the trucking and all, like.
Yeah.
What you're doing.
What was I guess I bought her for like $650, and then I think it was like $250 maybe to get her all the tests done and stuff.
Huh.
So
I think that's pretty neat though. Like for some of the folks that maybe nobody on this show would disagree with the calf roping, but for some folks to realize that you guys like actually give a shit, obviously, like it's I think that's kind of neat to know.
It's funny. I need to find somebody that makes ear tags. I'm gonna get an ear tag that says minus 50,000. I'm gonna put it in her ear,
and then put plus 50,000 on the Calgary one.
Yeah, put plus 50 on the Calgary cap. Yeah.
Oh man.
So
that's just typical ranch and just breaking even.
That's right. Yeah. You see, you've got this figured out.
Yeah.
So I gotta ask, after you won the 50,000, what was the night like after that? Did you guys have some extracurriculars or?
Honestly, I wish I would have just turned out of Cheyenne, stayed in Calgary. We got a charter from Calgary there with Scott Pym. He flew us down to Cheyenne, and we roped in the slack the next morning at 7 a.m. So it wasn't too crazy, but it was pretty fun to have all of my good buddies there. Ty, Shane, and Blaine Cox was on it with us, and Cash Enderly. And so, yeah, it wasn't bad. We bought a case of beer, and that was about it, but played some cards on the way down.
Well, and Blaine was the last one to rope in the 4-round, wasn't he? Was he the one that could play spoiler to you?
Yep.
Oh, that sure made it exciting. So I guess we should kind of go back a little bit and kind of talk about the.
I got to go back to Calgary a little bit more. Yeah, because you're the second guy out in that 4-round too, were you not?
Yep.
So second out, you knew you were 7 flat. What was it like waiting though? Like that, I wonder about the waiting. What were you thinking? Like, I know you're pretty confident. You're like, yeah, I'm pretty confident. Like you set the bar quite high, but
yeah.
What are you thinking for those 2 runs?
Honestly, I would like to go back and watch the 4-man. I haven't even got to watch it, but we were so damn excited over there. I didn't even hardly get off my horse, and Shane was giving me a hug, and we were freaking. Oh, it was crazy, and people were high-fiving and fist bumping, and we were all just freaking out over there. I do remember Kyle going, and we were watching him, and I was like, holy shit, he's about to get me. And then I honestly cannot remember what happened on the ground, but something happened on the ground.
A calf kick or
something. Yeah, kind of bobbled, a quick little bobble.
Yeah, he was like 10 something, wasn't he?
8, I think 8 something, but
was he?
It was like, just enough to be behind.
Yeah, and then honestly, I was watching Blaine, and I couldn't even tell you what happened. I forget. Honestly, I was just so pumped at that point. I was freaking out, and then you get to run across that arena. That was badass. I was freaking.
Well, you was it kind of delayed, or were you running right now? Like, soon as Blaine was done, you were on route.
I was running as soon as Blaine wrote. I looked like Forrest Gump out there.
I remember in Blaine's run though, because we were standing on the tarmac, and there was like a point in his run, and I don't know, it was just when he was flanking the calf, where it was just like you knew it just wasn't going to be 7, and everybody was excited already. Nothing against Blaine. I mean, he was still doing his thing, but it was like just in that 1 second, you just knew that you had it. And then, I mean, not that everyone's cheering because he was longer than you, but it was like everyone around us just started like, Beau won, and man, that place just erupted. It was pretty damn cool.
Yeah, that was damn cool. It was like, I said that it felt like I had a whole country behind me, but honestly, it just felt like everybody was cheering me on. It was pretty cool to see that many people, be kind of invested in a story per se, that everybody kind of knew what had happened, and they were cheering me on. It's pretty special, and I was pretty emotional about that. I was pretty tore up about that. That was really cool.
Well, and so I gotta ask too now. Go on the I don't know what you are allowed to say, but what do you think about the amount of Canadians at Calgary, and you guys that won are all, you haven't made the NFR yet, but Jared has, Scott has, Dustin has. You guys are some of the best in the world competing at Calgary, but in my opinion, I think it's a little bit light, and I see the argument where Calgary's trying to have the best in the world. I just think it's a little light on Canadian content personally. I'm curious. Like, the Canadian guys, you guys like kicked ass and proved everybody that you can hang, obviously, which you guys do at the top levels. But I feel like it's still light on Canadian content. But I'm curious what it's like on your side and being in it, right? Like, anybody can go qualify and go get there and do it, but Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I kind of both ways. You know, it is the best, the greatest outdoor show on earth. So you want to have the best guys there. So obviously you need the top 15. So there's 15 guys. And then this year they took 30 instead of the 24 like they usually do. So, you know, there's a couple more guys this year. Maybe they could have took some more Canadians or did an invite. You know, like I know they used to take the tour finale champ from Canada. They don't do that anymore.
Used to be the top 2.
Was it top 2? Yeah, yeah. Because I had actually won the tour last
year.
Fall.
Yeah,
and yeah, so I was curious. I was like, shoot, I might have got into Calgary right there, and they're like, no, we don't do that anymore. So, but yeah, no, I mean, I see both sides of it. You know, I like competing against the best in the world, and you know, I would also like to see a couple more of my buddies from Canada, you know, get the opportunity to rope there and prove themselves that they can rope against the top guys in the world too. So, you know, both ways. I do wish they would count all 50 of the $1,000 that you get to win. I think that's kind of a little bullshit, but you know, whatever. I guess they're the higher ups and they make the rules. But
how much did count then?
25,000.
So how much of Kyle's counted?
20,000. So really, I mean, only 5 more thousand than Kyle towards the standing.
So you're at 79,000 right now, and you're 9th in the world. So if the other 25 counts, you're at 105, and you're 50 from Houston. Shit, you'd have
been season leader.
You'd be season leader, and now you'd have 150,000 in the bank.
Yeah, 150,000. It's pretty crazy to think. Yeah, I mean, I've only got half in the standings.
I mean, shit. It's I can't imagine what it's like to get to 9th in the world. I mean, I know you're rodeoing hard and you're giving her hell. Hey.
Yeah, I mean, you think, you know, you kind of joke around about, they only got half my money in the standings, but at the same time, I mean, it's so cool. I'm living a dream and going to make my first NFR, so I can't complain too much. I'm pretty tickled, and I'm excited to win another 75,000 to finish off the year and maybe get to that 150 before September 30th.
I got to go back to the Calgary side of things. Like, I kind of built a little bit of a rundown. Like, people we kind of shared something and got people conversing a little bit, and people know where I stand. And I've always been the fact that I think there should be more Canadians, but I kind of took, you know, if you want the best in the world, then you take the top 6. Even if you said top 16, then you take 8 Canadian spots. Then you have, you know, maybe that tour thing. Like, I kind of broke it down to where there was a bit different on the percentages, but I think it would be completely fine. Like, you don't have to have 25 Americans in every event and 5 Canadians. Like, I think that having people that are from Canada that maybe don't travel as much, like a Scott Ginther that, you know, can still hang there, and even Jared's not going every weekend down to the US, right? And he's still competing and can still get there, but giving a guy a shot, like, technically, like, you made it into Calgary because of the Canadian standings. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I think I finished 3rd last year in Canada.
So you get a spot into Calgary, and you are an up-and-coming guy. You win the rookie of the year. You're 35th, 30th the last 2 years in the PRCA standings. You get a shot, and you take advantage, and then you win the whole damn thing, and it's a launching point for your entire career. You know, you did well in Houston, obviously, and you could have won that one, but, like, you get into the Canadian standings, and it's a launching pad for your career. Where
if you finish 5th in Canada last year, you
don't get to come to Calgary.
You're not at Calgary.
Yeah. No, I get that too. That's why I'm kind of like, I wish they would take a couple more guys, because, you know, kind of, you know, it's just like the American deal, how they try to give everybody an opportunity to rope for $1 million, and you know, that's life changing for people, you know, just like 50,000 is. So, I wish they could maybe get a couple more Canadians in there, but you know, I don't really know how much pull I have, but
You got a big giant check with a maple leaf beside your name on TV.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a good pull.
That's pretty badass. But I mean, it was your roping last year, the CFR. Like you cranked it up there, won a couple rounds and turned it up. And, so you've had to damn sure work to get to Calgary too. And, and represent, right? My
point just being that like you're a Canadian guy and you are competing on the world stage, but this is a huge opportunity that not everybody gets. But it feels like we're limiting the amount of Canadians at a Canadian rodeo. And I don't like that. So I think it's important to keep a good, healthy amount of Canadian content. And this year it went way back, and then all you guys went and won it. So I think it's kind of like, hey, I think we might prove the point a little bit here.
Yeah, that maybe saves us right there. We should they might have to look a little more into that and take us a little more serious next time, I guess.
So what are you going to do with the 50,000, Beau? Have you got some plans for the cash?
Honestly, I do. I have big dreams for the cash. I don't know. It'll probably just get spent, and I won't get to do any of that stuff. But I'd really like to buy my own land. I've always wanted to have a place. So maybe we can work a little harder and put some more together to start buying up some land.
You use that 50,000 just to get you to Vegas, and you go down there and you bring home $6 figures in American money. You can buy any damn piece of land in the county of Stettler you want, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. You're damn right. Yeah.
Okay, last question on the Calgary side of things. They're not quite back to the $100,000 payout. I wish you would have won $100,000 to make up for the Calgary for the Houston issue, right? But last thing my point is I'm kind of holding things accountable and like, hey, what's going on here? Why doesn't it pay $100,000? I don't know what the reasoning is, but what are your thoughts that way? Like, I know you wish you would have won the 100, but does anybody have any say on what's going on there? Or like,
we've all asked the same thing. They roll freaking 1.5 million people through there. You think they could come up with another 50,000 times 6 events? That's only 300,000. That ain't much to them. But we honestly, I have no idea why it doesn't pay 100,000. But I really don't know. I couldn't tell you why it doesn't, but I do wish it would have paid 100.
Yeah, it would have been nice.
Been damn sweet. But you got 50 and no one else did in the calf roping, so it's pretty badass that you stood up on that stage and
exactly.
And we're looking at it too, and you're the first Canadian to win the tie down since Al Bouchard. First Canadian to win the tie down roping in Calgary since Al Bouchard in 2005. So it's been almost 20 years, like 18 years later. You're 2 years old since then, or what?
Morgan Grant.
That's right.
In 14. Yeah.
That's right. Sorry, Grant in Ontario. I was looking for Alberta addresses. My bad.
Yeah.
Obviously, Morgan. That was the year that Dustin Flundra and Clint Lay, right? Or no, wait. That's not right.
Still 9 years ago. That's quite a while.
And then now you join, we think, just on our math, we think you join, I guess it'd be Corey Solomon and Tough Cooper as the youngest.
Likely some of the youngest
guys to ever win the Calgary Stampede at 21.
Yeah, that's pretty damn cool there. You can't, that's a pretty elite group to join right there.
What does it take in the calf roping to be at this elite level, and why have we not had any Canadians at the NFR since Marty Becker in 1997?
You know what? It takes a lot. That's kind of what I got a lot of opinions on it, and I don't know if I should share all of them, but
please do.
It's like, the CPRA's got a pretty good thing going up there, like. And it just seems like everybody that ropes calves up there just is kind of homebody, like they just are pretty content with going to the 50, 55 rodeos up there and making the CFR and kind of doing that deal, and which there's absolutely nothing wrong with. I miss home quite a bit, and that is the one thing I will say that being down here and being gone from home, I sometimes get pretty envious of those guys being at home all the time. but it takes so much freaking time and effort to be at the NFR. I mean, I haven't been there yet, and I feel like I've devoted every day for the last 5 or 6 years to calf roping, pretty much, and been around the top guys in the world. And Shane has been coaching on me, and we have been working at it. And I mean, it's like, it's nuts how much it takes. And then on top of that, you need a good horse. So then you got to spend 50 to 100,000 to buy, a badass horse that you can ride everywhere.
Did he really charge you that much for that one?
No, absolutely not. I told him 6,000. Highest I'm going.
Got a barter with that guy.
Yeah. But no, it's that's really, I think, the main reason why we haven't had any calf ropers from Canada. Kyle Lucas has been really the only other guy that's really tried it on and put time and effort into it to try and get to the finals, and he got close 2 years ago. I guess that would have been my rookie year. I think he ended up 16th or something, 16th or 17th. But he's really been the only other guy to really try to push and get to the yellow building. And I made up my mind when I was in high school that this is what I wanted to do, and we were gonna get it done however we could. We were gonna try to get there. I wanted to be the first kid from Canada to get back to the Thomas and Max since, them greats like Cliff and Marty and Joe. And so that's what I've been working towards. And that's what we're trying to get to. And I don't know. It's crazy. Like you hear all those cliche sayings about, like, you fall 7 times, stand up 8. And, like, I just, those kind of things. But like this year, I have just like realized that like all that stuff's true. Like you literally cannot give up. Like just have faith and belief. Like it just seems, last year I had a chance to set the arena record at Salinas and win Salinas, and I ended up breaking the barrier. And I felt sorry for myself. I was like, that was supposed to be my big breakout. And, like I suck. I can't hang with these guys down here. Like I might as well just go home and rodeo up there. And, then went to the CFR and had a chance to win 2 Canadian titles on Sunday. And, stuff didn't really go my way, but I still wanted to, I had to win first or second in the round to do it. And I was going to win second, and I didn't get a wrap around all 3 legs. And, then I was feeling sorry for myself there too. And then, then the winter just absolutely sucked this year. And I was just like Houston was the first money I had won all year. Like I literally jackpots, anything. And so I got to Houston, and, my calf got up in the one semifinal to make it back. And that same thing, I was driving back to Shane's that night, and I was feeling sorry for myself. And I'm like, man, like I don't belong. Like I can't do this. And, I was driving by myself, and I'm like, you know what? Like, quit feeling sorry for yourself. Freaking bow up and do something about it. Like, you can rope with these guys. And so I went back to the wild card the next day. And when I made it through the wild card, I was like, you know what? You can freaking do this. And, so then that Sunday morning when I woke up at Houston, I knew I was going to win Houston. And I had that same feeling at Calgary. And, and then I was like, after that all went down, that was a tough pill to swallow. But I was like, you know what? Like something is going to happen because of this. Like it just kept feeling like I just kept getting kicked. As soon as I'd get back up, they just kicked me back down again. And I'm just like wanting a break. And then, I was just wanting like that first big win to like really, just kind of break through almost. And then at Ponoka a couple weeks ago, I really thought I was going to win Ponoka too. And my calf, I tried to keep her standing, and she just kind of falled on me and ended up splitting second, third behind my good buddy Ty Harris, so it wasn't a huge deal. But I still come out all right. But I was just like, man, I just would really like that first place, like just once, and then finally, at Calgary it gets done. But that's just like, if I never give up, never quit believing, and finally it happens.
Well, good things happen to good people. And Beau, I've known you for a long time, and you're good people, so I think it's pretty cool, to see it all kind of come full circle there. And I want to say, I don't know if I read it on social media somewhere, but was it you saying there was someone that told you last week? Was it Jeremy Bueller talking to you, saying like, yeah, your karma's coming, like you're going to go and win Calgary? You want to tell that story? I just read it somewhere.
Yeah, Jeremy Bueller, that guy's that's one of my favorite guys in the world. He's like, I didn't know like a whole lot about him, but like we were bullshitting the other day at Sheridan, just riding around the warm-up arena, and he was kind of telling me his whole life story, and so I thought that was pretty darn cool. And he'd always said like he was the same way, like he'd always won like second or third, and then finally last year, like he started winning first, like, and knocked off, like they won Salinas, they won Pendleton, like won all them big cool rodeos that everybody dreams about winning. Then they won Houston this winter, and but he's like, man, it's funny the way that God works. He's like, don't be shocked when you win the 50 on Sunday. He said, you're going to win it. And I thought that's pretty darn cool, coming from a guy like that.
That's real cool. So we've been talking about the Houston stuff, but we haven't really talked about Houston. So, okay, we've got the 50 in the bank. So now we can go back and talk about this. So, I mean, let's just talk about that final run in Houston. We know you got there through the wild card. Just tell us how everything went down from the moment you nodded to me to maybe even a couple days after. Just take us through the journey, because it was I've never seen a tie-down roper get more press or more social media love than you.
Oh man, that was wild. Yeah, that's what everybody's bugging me about. I was the most popular guy in the PRCA, and I caused all the drama in Houston. But so that morning we tied the calves, and it was funny. We tied the calves. I said, I'll run that one in the final 10 or in the 10-man. And we get to the rodeo and check the draw. Sure shit, I got her. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's perfect. So run her, win the 10-man. And then we're going to the office to check the draw. And I said, I'm going to run that yellow, number 72. And we go in there, and sure shit, right there beside old Beau Cooper, 72. And so then at that point, I was like, oh yeah, this is happening. I'm winning Houston. And so we go down there, and Riley was first roper, made a great run. He was 8.7 or 8.9, one of the two. And then I was last roper. Hunter had a little hell. I think he was 9.2 maybe. And then Reese Reamer, he misflanked one, and then he was a little longer. And so then I was last roper, and same thing. I was just like, that yellow calf, I don't know if you guys knew about her, but she hauled ass. And so I knew that the start was going to be like non-existent there. So I'm just like, yeah, I can just blank out, go as fast as I can. And I dropped my hand when I nodded, and I'm like, shit, I'm late. And whatever, go across the barrier. I'm the whole time I'm like, I am late. And so I rope at her and, made my run. And I threw my hands in the air. I'm like, I just did it. I just won Houston, and got back on. And that's when they said I broke the barrier. And so I looked back, and I was like, what the heck? Like, there's no way. And Ty Harris was in the box with me, and he went and confronted the line judge and said, there's no way he broke the barrier. And he said, no, it worked properly, And so then at that point, they kind of shuffle you out of the arena, and thent already bareback riding. And so I tied my horse up, and I went running back down there. I'm like, hey, like, and Shane, I was talking to Shane on the phone. He's like, the barrier didn't work. Everybody knew it. And so people were blowing me up, and so I go down there and talk to the judge, and he's like, no, like, we'll discuss it later. I'm like, no, we need to discuss it now. Like, And so, you know, they couldn't watch video replay or nothing. And so he kind of, you know, whatever. And then all of a sudden, Rick Smith comes down there, the head of PRCA judging, and he's like, you know, no, he said the barrier didn't work, you know, like that. Everybody can see it. So he's like, I'll give him a chance for Will to make it right, but you know, if he, you know, whatever he says is final. And so we went up there to Will, and he asked him, and he said, no, I can assure you that I can go to sleep tonight and knowing that the barrier didn't work, or that the barrier did work. And so that was kind of all we could do there. And so then I left out of Houston, a pretty sad little boy, and went back. And we then after that, shoot, I don't know, I maybe had more text messages then. I charged my phone 18 times a day, it felt like, and I'm surprised it didn't blow up. But yeah, me and Shane both talked on the phone. I mean, I don't think I run a calf for 2 days. I was literally just talking on the phone and emails, and it was nuts. And yeah, so then we had to go to Austin, and that was kind of weird, you know, like everybody kind of knew there was an elephant in the room, and nobody was really saying anything, but they're all like, oh, you know, sorry to hear about that. And that was kind of a hard calf to run. Luckily, I made a good run, and then I ended up winning third at Austin, which kind of helped. And then after that, you know, I filed the grievance or whatever, and we got to the step 3, and they shot it down. But yeah, that was kind of all that become of that. And you know, they just really said there wasn't nothing they could do about it. But
is that what?
Sorry.
When you file the grievance, does that go right to the PRCA then?
Yeah.
And what was the reason when you got to step 3 that it didn't go any further?
Based off of a judgment call. Can't file a grievance off of a judgment call.
So in the rule book, if the barrier malfunctions, the default is a judgment call from the judge who said it worked, you know, F you, get out of here, like my call's final. Even when the head of judging says the barrier didn't work, and he had the judge had a chance to make it right and he didn't.
Yeah. And
does he still have his job?
You know, I don't really know, honestly.
Wow.
Yeah, and then you know, it come back that the neck rope had hung on the chute, and you know, there was some stuff there that could have been, the whole situation could have been avoided. But yeah, that's kind of, I'll touch on that.
Did you ever hear anything from Houston, or did they ever reach out to you on that?
You know, it's funny. Caitlin skates like she's kind of the head honcho there at Houston. She was at Calgary when I won it, and so she come over there, and she was pretty emotional about that, and she was glad I finally got 50. But Houston, they never really reached out to me. Neither did the PRCA really. I mean, I think they're all just kind of wanting to make it disappear. But
well, and I have to say, and maybe I'm wrong in saying this, but you know, a 21-year-old kid from Stettler is probably not going to get much love, you know, as even Shane, who's one of your best friends, in that situation. That'll change as you now start making NFRs and you're now a Calgary Stampede champion. But at the time, they're probably like, whatever, right? And is that
unfortunately that's probably
what's probably it.
Probably part of what happened, right? Unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really know. Honestly, I just think I really don't know. I don't know why it's all crazy really to me. It happened, you know?
Like what a year.
That much.
We'll say it for you. It's a chicken shit call, and the guy should have manned up and got it right, but he was too much ego to think he could make the call and just pretend that nothing happened. Like, no, you guys fucked up, and you need to make this right, but you didn't, and now it's worse actually. So,
yeah, yeah, exactly. And you know, our big deal was just like, man, you know, seems like freaking 1 million people in the world that can see that this didn't work, and and we, you know, in 2021 we still can't do the right thing and make it right. That's kind of was crazy to me, but whatever, I guess it.
There's 70, 80-year-old people on Facebook screenshotting the video saying this guy's out. Like, what's going on here? It was totally nuts.
Yeah, there's a couple memes floating around of like different kind of things, and oh man, it was, you know, I had to laugh about them. But
the Houston problem was we're good.
Did you see the? Sorry, go ahead.
I said, damn sure people ain't gonna forget about that one, and they'll dang sure won't forget about this whole story of losing the 50 at Houston and getting it back at Calgary. I can guarantee you that.
What about going back to Houston? How much motivation does this give you to go win it for the next decade in a row?
Oh man, you know what's funny is I actually love that rodeo. That's one of my favorite rodeos. Like I don't have nothing against Houston.
True. Yeah.
I have so much confidence in that building. Like I actually can't wait to rope there again. It's kind of fun. Like it's a long box, and usually calves are big. You kind of run them out there. I like that rodeo. It's top 4 for sure for me. That one, Calgary, Ponoka, and Salina. So those are my 4 favorite rodeos. So, yeah, I don't have nothing against Houston.
No, if that's fair. I think you'll be adding a 5th in December, though.
Yeah. The NFR is going to top all 4 of them.
Yeah, it might.
Were you down for? I'm sure you were. Were you down for Zeke's wins?
At least one of them last year, right?
In Vegas? Yeah. No, I have yet to be there when he's won a world title. But
even last year, or sorry, that was 21. Never mind, my bad.
21, we got to go because I got to go pick up my. Yeah, I got to go pick up my Rookie of the Year buckle, and they let you walk out there in the Thomas and Mack during the perf, and I said, man, I'm going to be here one day. This is badass. I went out there and told my dad, I said, that sand feels pretty good. I'd like to tie one in it.
Damn straight, and you will. So, and I want to go back to that because in 2021, that was kind of like the COVID year, and I mean, I'm sure you probably spent everything you want on COVID tests going back and forth across the border. Man. But what was 2021 like for you?
7,000 in COVID tests.
How much?
I said, I bet I had 6,000 or 7,000. It seemed like in COVID tests.
That's insane. And then you go down there and win Rookie of the Year.
You didn't start faking them? I thought you would have just faked them out.
Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. I have like a whole freaking. I did. I guess we burned them all, but I had like a big. Just I don't know. It's just there's so many of them COVID tests. Holy man, it was nuts.
And where did you end up finishing that year in the world standings in 21 when you won the Rookie?
I think right at 30. I think I was 30th on the nose.
And is that's what got you into the big rodeos then this last year, right?
Yeah, no, that would have been.
Or that was the year before. Sorry.
Yeah, that was the year before. So then, I got to go to all them rodeos. But then, honestly, last year I didn't. Last year was a weird year. I didn't really win much in the winter, and then I got out here in the summer. And probably about this time last year, I was like, you know what? End of July. I'm just going to go back to Canada and make the CFR. I had 4,001, I think, in Canada, and maybe 20,001 down here. And so I wasn't really craving rodeo too badly. So I went back up there and then got in with Clayton Smith and me and him.
Medicine Hat. I remember I was announcing you won Bruce.
Yep. Then that weekend.
And Regina.
That's what I'm also saying about like never giving up either. Like I learned that last year. I'm like, I shouldn't have ever went home, like I should have just stuck it out regardless of what happened. But anyhow, that's the way it played out. But yeah, when I did go home that first weekend, I won 9,000. I won 4th at Strathmore, 1 Medicine Hat, 1 Bruce, and then 1 Regina the next weekend. I don't know. I think I won 1st or 2nd at like 12 different rodeos in August. And I won, I don't know, like just between the Canadian rodeos and we went to a few like Montana rodeos and a couple in the Northwest, but like that August and that first week of September, I think I won almost like 40,000. I think I won like 35 or 36,000.
Watch out, Eric Dublanco. There's a new Mr. August Canadian.
Yes. And you know what's funny is Clayton won almost the same. Me and him just were tapped off. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, because he went on a run too, and then finished I think season leader, didn't he? Out of that run.
Yeah, we were battling. He had a little head start. I told him I was going to catch his ass by the end of it, but I never did.
And then you went to the CFR, and you won. Did you win 2 rounds last year at the CFR? 2 or 3?
Yep. Yeah, I won 2 rounds. Won maybe 3rd or something in another round, and should have won 2nd in that last round, but I didn't have a wrap around all 3. And then I roped like Don Knotts in the 2nd round and missed. Oh, that was embarrassing. And then what happened one other round? Oh, I had a calf get up too.
Yeah, you were in the thick of things for the Canadian title, and
yep.
maybe this is like following your cousin Zeke, but remember Zeke won a world and won Calgary before he ever won a Canadian title. So maybe maybe you got Calgary in the bank, go down, win a world title, and then come back to Canada and grab one of these too while you're at it, eh?
Yeah, you damn right. That'd be good omens. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. So I want to talk about, you've referenced, or you got anything else you want to touch on this?
You're going where I was going. You're going to ask about Shane.
Yeah. I mean, because I was telling Ted this story, the year COVID shut the CFR down, me and Dave Paulson did a Zoom interview with all the champions from 2019. I think Shane won. Yeah. And we interviewed all the champions. And in that interview, so that would have been in November of 2020, I think we were talking about, the future ropers, and he brought your name up in that interview. I got to find that clip. And he said, you boys got to watch for Beau Cooper, and talked about you. And, I've known you and watched you in the amateurs, and you were a hell of a team roper too, and a heck of a calf roper. And then, a year later you win the rookie of the year. So I'm thinking, well, this guy must be onto something. But, Shane Hanchey wouldn't just throw your name out there that many years ago if he didn't think something special in you, but he's obviously been a huge mentor to you. And I'm sure he's a big part of the reason you are where you are.
But how is that? Yeah. How'd that connection come about too? Yeah. Like where'd you meet Shane? How'd you guys get hooked up? Like where'd that come from?
Honestly, I feel like I maybe have like the coolest story in rodeo. I don't know. Maybe I'm probably biased on that, but it's cool to me. Like in 2018, he come up here and did a roping school, and I went that year to the roping school, and I just kind of tried to put my best foot forward and help out, and obviously I was in the presence of a freaking world champion and a guy that I watched 100 videos of and that I had looked up to as a calf roper, and so I tried to put my best foot forward, and he had kind of seen that I could dang sure rope, and that year, and so that same year, after I think the roping school was end of July, so he come to the CFR that fall, and he sent me a message on Instagram, said, "Hey, if you're at the CFR," he said, come have a visit. So I went for lunch with him and a guy by the name of Cody McCartney, and we went for lunch and whatever, nothing really become of that. And so then the next summer, I was having a good year amateur rodeoing in 2019 and was probably a cocky little shit. And I was like, oh, I don't need to go back to that roping school. I rope good enough. And he sent me a message on Instagram again and said, "Hey, you coming back to the roping school this year?" And I said, and I thought about it. You know what? I probably need to. So I put my name down and went back to the roping school. And he said after it, he said, if you want, he said, I could probably get you a full ride down there at Hill College, and you just come live at my house, do online school, and we'll rope. And I said, okay. He gave me his number, and I said, well,
was that the premium package at the roping school tuition or what?
Yeah, I think so. And so I texted him. I said, hey, I appreciate the offer. I said, I don't want to go to school. I said, if I just come work for you for free, will you still teach me how to rope? And he said, hell yeah, come on. So I went down there that first year, and I was nervous as that cat on a hot tin roof. I wasn't there a week, and this is one of the funniest stories, but they let me take the little stock trailer to a junior open. I think I'd been there 4 days maybe, and I was pretty green, but thought I had the world by the short and curlies, and so I took this stock trailer and I made it maybe 2 hours down the road, and I called Shane and said, hey Shane, how's it going? He said, oh good, you making it? And I said, well, not really. He said, oh, what happened? You got flat? And I said, well, it's flat now. And he said, oh, and I said, he said, yeah, I lit your trailer on fire. He's like, holy shit, send me a picture. So I sent him a picture. The whole side of it was black, and one of the bearing had caught on fire, whatever, the axle. And so I lit, it's actually Taylor's trailer, and she didn't really know me that well. And come to find out about a year later, she said that she actually really didn't like me for about the first month after that. And so that was pretty funny. And then so now they're like he's like a brother, but they're also like a set of parents to me too. They've taken me under their wing, and I never really give Taylor any shout outs, but I really should give her one too. She's done a lot for me as well, and they've both just been great for me. And so I've gone there every winter since then and lived at their house and roped with them, and they've taught me more than I think I ever would have got out of college, just about life and hustling. I mean, them two, they'll make some money and work their asses off every day. And so I've learned a lot from them, and it's pretty cool that he could be there Sunday afternoon in Calgary right there in the box with me and watch me win that first big title. And when I was riding back over there to the buck and shoot, he was already over there, and you seen it on TV, but I pointed at him, and I didn't even make it off my horse, and we were hugging it out, and he said, what about all them nights flanking and tying, you missing your hooey? And so it's pretty cool to reminisce on all that stuff and kind of go back on that. But I really wouldn't be where I am without them. So
that's pretty cool. And he's a great guy too. And what's the name of his didn't he have a crawfish food truck? Did you ever have to go pull any shifts in the food truck?
Oh, what? Dustin, you don't know this, but I'm also Canada's top crawfish chef 3 years running.
Did you go cooking in that thing or what?
Oh, yeah, that's what I said. Working for free, that guy. I've been running the crawfish trailer for 3 years now.
We got to bring that thing north.
I tell everybody I'm actually the owner, and I that's why it's called Beau's Boil and Go. But
that's right. That's the name of it. I love it. That's and is that thing still going?
Oh yeah, we were we were in it all winter. Felt like.
No way.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
I love that.
It's awesome though.
Pretty cool actually. I honestly don't mind it for a little while, and then I get sick of it. But it's I'll keep running it if they keep teaching me how to rope. So
yeah, I was gonna say it's been a pretty good trade off. Cook some crawfish and rope with a world champ. That's pretty damn cool.
What's your favorite Louisiana dish for in the food business? What do you like in the Louisiana food?
Everything they have damn good food down there, but they do like it's called like rice and gravy, and it's whatever, they put some roast or whatever and over rice, and it's pretty good. And then crawfish etouffee is pretty good over rice. I like that. I do like crawfish too. Crawfish is crawfish is pretty good for a couple times, and then I kind of get sick of it too. But no, they have some damn good food. I've ate at Shane's parents' place. His mom, she's cooked some outstanding meals.
That's cool. Well,
sorry, Dustin, go ahead.
No, I just loved the crawfish story. I thought that was super cool.
That's awesome.
And obviously being around Shane, that's a pretty good role model, a guy who's been a world champ, and now you're it's pretty crazy to think. So your last time you were in the roping school was 2019, is that right?
Yep, he only did it them 2 years, and then obviously the COVID hit. But
well, if he has a school, you should be the poster boy, because 4 years, not even 4 years removed from the school, he's celebrating a Calgary win with you. That's pretty damn cool journey.
That's what I think so cool about it. Like, you get a guy like that to take you under your wing, and then for him, like, I haven't really asked him about it, but that's got to be pretty cool for him to, kind of build up this kid that he knew nothing about, and watch him win the biggest rodeo in the world. Pretty damn cool. I think
both of them.
Yeah.
What was the fee on the school? Seems like a pretty good investment.
I think it was $600. Pricey. Holy man.
Yeah, you have to tell him knock that. You have a coupon or something.
I'm gonna get my $1,200 back out of them somewhere. I don't know where. But
what's the best day you've made in tips at the crawfish?
My best day is $0. I think I had 3 old ladies hit on me one day. I think that's my best day.
And they're all cheap down there. Hey, you gotta.
Yeah, they're all separate too. So that might be my best day.
There's no tips in the crab shack, in the crawfish shack though. What's going on with that?
No, they all go to Taylor's little nephews. They come help too. Cannon and Kyler, they come kind of run the front, and so they get all the tips.
Oh, they got to share with the cook here.
Cook is
maybe they'll buy me a night.
Sharing.
I wanted to touch on something because
it's funny. Sorry to interrupt you, but I was just gonna. I thought this was funny. Kyle Lucas, he stayed there one day this winter, and Shane made him go work on the crawfish trailer, and I told Kyle he had big shoes to fill to get my role as the top crawfish chef in Canada, and he got done, and he's like, "Yeah," he said, "Your position's safe."
I thought you were gonna say that he took the trailer and he started it on fire.
No.
Where do they set this thing up? Like, I'm trying to picture where you're
right there in Giddings, honestly, just in a parking lot. And yeah, it's people come from everywhere.
That's damn.
They're well known now.
Like in the Walmart parking lot, or what do you mean? Like just where?
Well, so Taylor's mom and dad, they own a feed store right there in Giddings, so they set up there for a while, and then just another little local business that they're good friends with, they let them set up there.
Cool.
Well, that's sweet. That's a cool story. I just want to. I see on your shirt, I know you got CVS controls. That was another cool story out of Houston. Why don't you give him a little plug, but tell him the story on how you ended up on that team, because that was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. So I had a lady by the name of Alicia Erickson. She was a former Miss Rodeo Canada. She was going to help me kind of, get my social media up to par, and maybe try to help me get some sponsors. And so she's like, just maybe give Lyle a call. So she gave me Lyle's number, and I called Lyle. I'm like, hey, Lyle, just another broke cowboy here. Think he can sponsor me? And he's like, man, send me your resume or whatever, your accomplishments, I guess. And he's like kind of looking for, some high end guys that make the NFR and CFR and win big rodeos. And he said, you win big rodeo, he said, I'll sponsor you. And I don't think it was shit. It might have been 8:00 the next morning after Houston. He was calling me. And he said, you won Houston in my eyes. And he said, I'll stick to my word. I'll sponsor you. And so I thought that was pretty darn cool of Lyle Kurtz. And, he's been a huge, huge supporter of rodeo in Canada for many, many years. And, it's kind of funny. All the guys you look up to in Canada, they all got that same patch on their shirt. So to finally get on a team with them is kind of a cool feeling.
I was super impressed in Pinoca this year, and I don't know if I've ever met him personally or not. But we played that CVS Controls commercial about 75 times that week because he was the main sponsor of the team roping. So they had even money this year and the tie down. So that was like twice a day, the CVS up on the big screen, like really rock and roll. And it was, pretty awesome to see, I thought.
Really awesome. Yeah. No, that guy's, he loves rodeo and all of Canada and Rodeo Canada is very thankful to have that guy. He's been a major part of everybody up there.
Well, he damn sure got his money worth out of you on Sunday standing up on that stage of that big check because that CVS logo is right front and center there.
Yep.
Beau, I want to go. Oh, go ahead.
Are you going to the Houston thing about the GoFundMe deal? Yeah. Okay, so tell us about that one.
Yeah.
Beau, somebody, was it Tiffany Cooper? Is that right? Like Tuff's wife? Is that who started that thing?
Yep.
They started GoFundMe for you when you didn't win Houston because you were kind of broke and like probably ready to go home again at that point. Were you not? Like, is that part of that story? Like, fill us in on that whole deal.
It really is. I think at that point I had a maxed out credit card and that 10,000 that I got out of Houston, it disappeared in a hurry. I didn't have nothing of it left, but so she just kind of started it after seeing everybody saying that they needed to start a GoFundMe on Facebook. And so she kind of just took it under herself and the kindness of her heart to start it and just looking out for me really. And, I kind of felt a little weird about the whole deal. It wasn't nobody's fault that I didn't get the 50 and I just didn't feel right about people just giving me money, so.
Except for that judge, but
it was just, it's crazy, like God's timing that, that very next day, that Caleb gets hurt. And, as soon as I figured that out, I was calling people trying to get in touch with Caleb and, to see, I just wanted their permission to say, hey, can I send you this money, whatever we raise in this GoFundMe, it'll all go to you. And so his family was super appreciative. And, I actually got to talk to his dad there the other day at Basin City over the 4th of July. So that was cool. And he 3 months after he went in, he was back out and, his dad showed me a video of him. He was running the swather and, they were cutting hay and all kinds of stuff. And, so he's back running the ranch and, loving being home. And now they're trying to convince him to go get his rehab, which he needs to get done, but, get the muscles back stronger. But, yeah, I don't know. It was just felt like the right thing to do. And they ended up blowing by the 50,000 pretty fast. It got to 89,000. So, to see everybody in the rodeo community come together and do something right, it felt pretty good to be the guy. Well, along with Tiff, I should give her credit. She started it, but a bad thing that happened to me, turned into a really great thing that we were able to help him out, and it made my deal seem, like nothing. That really put that into perspective for me that, whatever, it's just rodeo. I mean, I can still go rope tomorrow. Haven Medget's yelling at me right now. He's been blowing me up about being the king of Canada here for the last week.
Yeah, we should have this guy sitting on a throne, not beside a chain link fence. Like, what are we doing here?
He's been bugging the shit out of me. We went to Tim Hortons the other day, and some lady ahead of us in the drive-thru bought our order, and he was beside himself. He could not believe it. He said, "They just know wherever you are. They know." And he said, and then Trevor Hale's with us, and we were headed back to the grounds at Calgary. And Trevor said, "I can't believe you don't even have a police escort back here." And I look in the mirror, and there's no shit. There's a cop car following us. And It was just, it was pretty funny, but yeah. But back to the Caleb thing. Yeah. It's, no, it just felt like the right thing to do. And it puts it in perspective that, you know, it can always be worse. And, that was pretty tough, tough to talk to his parents, you know, right after that accident. I mean, it just, you can't even imagine what they're going through. It makes your deal seem like nothing. That's for sure.
For those that don't know, what exactly happened?
He was in a bad accident. I don't know if it was a side by side or a quad or what, but it rolled over him on a steep bank and shattered his left knee and severed his spinal cord, or crushed it. Sorry, it crushed his spinal cord, and so he was paralyzed from the waist down. So,
well, $89,434. That was pretty remarkable to see that go to him, and just another part of the really remarkable story that's been your year, Beau. And I mean, we're at July, and
yeah,
and we've already had an hour and a half podcast about your journey from Houston to till today, which was pretty damn cool. And we don't have to spend a ton of time on it. And I already kind of know the answer, but kind of quickly, like, you know, your family's obviously involved in rodeo. We know that. Your dad roped, your sister ropes. But what was kind of what got you into calf roping and the success you had? And I think I probably know the answer, but why don't you kind of talk about that briefly?
Honestly, the very first calf I run, I was hooked. I remember it like it was yesterday. You know, I kind of always team roped. I sucked at breakaway roping. Absolutely sucked at breakaway roping. I rode a little small horse that I couldn't ever catch on. But yeah, my dad, we were going into high school, and he finally said that I could start calf roping. And so obviously he roped calves too back in the day. But I run that first calf. We had one calf, and I run her out there like 3 swings, run her through, and roped her by 2 back legs. And I was so freaking mad. And I was wanting to run another one so bad. And Dad's like, "No, you're done." And he wouldn't let me run another one. And from that day on, I fell in love with calf roping. It was just game on. And it's funny, you know, I set, like in the wintertime, I would set up. Oh, here's Shane right now. I'm just doing a podcast. Say hi. The man himself.
He was on like the 6th episode, so
yeah, there you go.
Been a while.
Yeah. And then you know, it's funny, I would in the wintertime I wouldn't be able to rope, and I would take 2 hay bales, 2 square bales, and I would put them up, and then I would put a sawhorse on top of the square bales, and then I took a little like square block and nailed it to the top of the sawhorse, and that was my saddle horn. And then I had, obviously, the bale in front of me was the calf, and then I had a little old tie-in dummy that I would set on a bag of UFA shavings, and that was my only practice for the winter. And I would make 50 runs a night on that thing, and I would go through maybe like 3 sets of running shoes every winter, and I would wear out the whole, or like on your big toe on your right foot from dragging it across when I go to gather the legs on the tie-in dummy. I would just wear out all my socks, all my shoes. There'd just be a giant hole right there from roping that thing, and it would be, you know, -30, but it would be, you know, -5 or -10 in the shop, and that's all I did every night when I'd get home from school. I'd go rope that thing and work on stuff like that. But yeah, no, my dad, I can't thank him enough for always helping me and getting me started, you know, in the right direction, and roping, and everybody else that had something to do with it early on in my career. They helped me to get to where I am today, for sure.
Well, I remember announcing you you got your dad an FCA title. What year was that? 17 or 16?
Yep. Me and Big Jim, we struck off over there at Red Deer and got us the title. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, I remember that was good watching. Yeah, you were young then.
Yeah, that was really young. I was 16, I guess, but that's one of my fondest memories too of winning that with my dad. So
that was pretty cool. Did you win the award that they had for Lyle that year too?
Yeah, I did. I won that award for being the youngest calf roper to make the finals. I won it 2 years in a row, actually.
Yeah, and that was for
Lyle.
That was really cool.
Oh,
yeah, and it's kind of crazy because before he passed away, he was literally our next door neighbor. He owned the quarter of land right beside us. So, that was pretty cool. And that year I made the finals in the calf roping too. I was the very first roper at Cochrane, and I had to win first in order to make the FCA finals. And I was the very first roper, and I remember I run this calf way off down there to the buck and shoot and tied her down. I was 11-1, and I don't remember who the guy was untying, but he come up to me and he said, "Good run. Probably not going to win nothing though." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And I'll be damned if I didn't win it and make the FCA finals that year. I thought that was pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. And I think that was the first year they did the award for Lyle, was at that finals. And when you won that, I remember that was a pretty special. That was a pretty special moment. Having known Lyle and known you guys were neighbors, I remember that was being a pretty cool moment at the time.
Yeah, it really was. We're pretty good friends with all the Cassidys, and they're kind of synonymous in Stettler County there. So there's a lot of them.
And then your family, your sister breakaway ropes, or your dad ropes, your mom. I got to work with your mom for years running the scoreboard there, and Patty, she always kept us all in line. And you guys won Family of the Year, I think, in the FCA. Like you guys are you're an awesome family. You guys are all pretty tight knit down there, hey?
Yeah, it's pretty funny that a lot of people don't know that my mom and dad had the scoreboard for a long time and took it to a bunch of rodeos. So, you got to know them pretty good, and probably got to know me before I knew you, and was just running around being a shitty little kid at all the rodeos. So
100%.
Yeah.
I think before we finish up, I just got to ask, you mentioned roping for 2 buckles on Sunday in Red Deer. Is the all-around title something that is still part of your goals?
It is. It isn't this year. I mean, I would like to. I tried a little this spring, team roped a little, but honestly, I'm just so focused on making that yellow building right now and getting to the CFR and the calf roping that I'm not too worried about it. We got the rest of the life to get them all around buckles, but it would have been cool to get that one last year.
Because you were like, if you would have won the go around, it would have paid enough for you to win both, right?
Yeah. I needed Jesse Popesco. I needed him to stay in the average, and he fell out of the average, which kind of messed things up. But it's
not a matter of if, it's when you're gonna win one. There's no question about it. So
yeah, for sure. But yeah, maybe in another 5 years. Another 5 years, we'll get back in the all around. But
got some stuff to take care of first.
Yes, exactly. We're just gonna focus on the calf roping for right now.
Calf roping and working for questionable wages in the crawfish shack.
Yeah, exactly. He's right. He said,
yeah, I figured. We've just been discussing workers' compensation and wages. But...
Yeah.
Does Shane have a comment on that? Can he hear us?
Yeah, we pay well. We pay by experience, and we pay by pre-practice sessions.
I'd say it worked because that Calgary check covers it.
Yeah, that just means he's working for free next crawfish.
Shane, we've talked about you lots on this show though, and you've been on it with us before. Good to see you. It's been a while, but just maybe one quick thing on Beau. and just your experience of him and seeing him at the schools. And I'm curious on your side, just what you saw in this guy to give him a chance and bring him down to stay with you guys.
Yeah, man. I mean, I tell everybody I didn't do anything. I mean, it was all this kid. I mean, from the first clinic there in Cardston, I could tell that he was a little bit different than my other students. And then, you know, he asked if he could come to Texas, and I said, whenever you want. And he took me up on it. And that was, you know, for me, after he roped in the Final Four, like the joy that I experienced there was probably way better than me winning it myself. You know, I've been fortunate to win it, and it's life changing. But for everything that he's went through the last 6 months, and you know, to see where he is and to see how he handled it all, he handled it. You know, all that stuff in March, he handled it way better than I would have. And I tell people that ask me every day about him that they don't make a better kid and they don't make a better family. And you know, I remember telling him that night when he got home from the Houston short round. I mean, we were both kind of teared up and crying, and I just remember telling him something good's going to come out of this. I don't know what it is, but something good's going to come out of it. I mean, it wasn't even. It was just kind of everything that had built up to that. And then when he was on the biggest stage of his life, in front of the most people in his life, he just rose to the occasion. That's something you can't teach. You can't teach that at a clinic. You can't teach that in the practice pen in Texas, where we've been for so many nights. And you just got to be born with that, you know, that kind of winner mindset and winner mentality. And I've said it all along. I mean, he's made to be a winner. We all know how much Zeke's won, and his dad Coop, you know, he roped really good. So it's bred in him. Now he's just doing his part.
Thanks. That's pretty unreal, Shane. That's a pretty cool comment. Thanks for adding this in with us. Good to see you too.
Yeah, good to see you guys.
You guys stay well the rest of the summer. And I got one more thing though. There's what is your motivation for the practice to be in the shop in the wintertime when it's 30 below out to do that? Like, I think that's one thing that, you know, Shane mentions that you're born with it, but like, there's still got to be the motivation to go do that. Why? What's your why?
I think just that, you know, every kid wants to be a world champion and make the NFR. So, you know, I had to try to find a way to practice, even though, you know, it's hard to find calves in the winter up there. And so going to school and then, you know, it's dark from 4:30 on. So, you know, it's not real just much fun to practice, but you can go kick the lights on in the shop and rope the bale 200 times and tie the dummy a bunch. So that's what I felt like I had to do to get better every day. And so that's what I did. And, you know, at the time I didn't know if that was the right thing to do or not, but I was doing it no matter what. So, I feel like that's just, I don't really know what to say there, but you know, it's got to get done, and you get 1% better every day. Yeah, I don't know. Not every day you feel like going and roping. I can guarantee you that. There's days at Shane's house I don't feel like roping at all, but we still go out there and do it. Just if you want to be at this level, you gotta do it. It's just like waking up and going to a job, you know?
Yeah.
Some days you really don't want to go do it, but you still go do it anyway, because, you know, you get moments where you win 50,000 on the biggest stage in your life, and all those moments of all those hard work in the shop when it was minus 30 out, you know, it makes it all worth it.
There's only one more question to go, Dustin.
Yep. So, Beau, what is your definition of cowboy shit?
Cowboy shit. Oh, man. Alberta. Ranching with Zeke, probably.
Right? All those days ranching with Zeke.
Ranching with Zeke, or doing something with Riley Warren.
Yeah, you know what? I will. Yeah, you're right. That is.
Yeah.
Well, I have a feeling that there's gonna be one day there'll be 2 gold buckles making crawfish in that trailer. You got a hell of a story. You know, not many 21-year-old tie down ropers could have an hour and a half podcast about their life already.
Yeah,
but and it's certainly not it's not a bad story. It's a damn cool story, and I think that you're from a great family. You're a great kid, and it's been fun watching you grow up, and everything you've got, you've earned and deserve. So it's been damn cool to talk with you and catch up on all this stuff, because it's been a whirlwind just to watch it. I can't imagine living it, but I'm excited to see where you keep going with all this. So.
Yeah, thank you, Dustin. I appreciate it. It damn sure has been a whirlwind, but we wouldn't change it for the world. That's for sure.
I'm happy to say I'm now a Beau Cooper fan. So looking forward to seeing more out there, Beau.
Cool. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Okay, well, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it again. Thanks for doing the show with us, Beau. This was awesome.
Yeah, hell yeah. Thanks for having me.
Man, I've got to say I am incredibly impressed with Beau Cooper. There's a few people we've talked to on the show that, like, one that I really remember recently was Kendall Pearson, and this, like, the drive to practice and the drive to, like, be out there and proving the craft day after day. Like, people that achieve this greatness, they're different, and the practice when nobody else is around is, I think, part of the difference.
Oh yeah, and that's the reason why, a huge part, and that's why Beau is in the situation he's in, for sure. And he made a comment in the show, and again, not a knock, but he just said, like, the group of tie down ropers in Canada right now, like, they're really good, but and I think he used the word homebody.
Yeah.
And it kind of, and again, not in a bad way, but I'm like, okay, I started thinking about the guys who are always at the CFR and not going south. And I'm like, you know what? It makes a good point. Like, there's really good tie down ropers, but a lot of these guys are, and not in a bad way, they're hanging at home, they're ranching, they're breaking horses and doing whatever. So I was like, you know what? He's not wrong. And there's a lot of good calf ropers. And so when he said that, I always think about us, oh, we need more Canadians. But I'm like, you know what? A lot of these guys that are our best are still not at his level because they are content, or maybe they're not content, but to hang out,
but it's fucking
do
expensive to travel.
Goddamn rights.
Yeah, they probably don't want
for 8 bronc riders to take a saddle and go hit the trail. I know it's expensive and loading up in a rig, but
yeah,
you're
buy
you get a good horse.
Yeah,
even bulldoggers, 5 guys can jump in a trailer with one team and go.
Yeah.
So I totally get it. And Beau made a good point. Like, they're good, but there's a lot of guys that just don't have that drive to go because it is so much work.
Yeah.
And he's like, it is work. It is a lot.
Absolutely.
So, but he's put the work in, man. He's love his family.
Mm-hmm.
Really cool. Remember when I was a kid, I first met his dad. He was playing beer league hockey in the Big Valley Cowboys team. Coop, he was a beauty. His mom's awesome. His sister's great. Just a great family. And I thought, and he's so well spoken. Like,
impressive.
A lot of guys, it takes them a long time to become a professional. And I say that in the way they present themselves, the way they dress. Like, you can see guys evolve, but I feel like he's just been that way. And that's also a big reason why he is where he is. And his cousin Zeke was like that, carried himself well. And some guys, it's taken some time to learn that, but he's acting like a consummate pro already. And
well, I didn't even ask who he's traveling with, but like, he obviously was with Shane.
Yeah, and I think he travels with Ty Harris a bit.
Okay. I didn't even ask that question. I didn't even know, but yeah. But like I said, like, at the end of that interview, like, I'm a Beau Cooper fan now.
Oh, right? He's a beauty, man.
Yeah, I'm a fan. Yeah.
When we started talking last night about getting him on the show, it was like, I was excited because I'm like,
yeah,
I know he's going to be
perfect.
I know he's going to be good, and so cool to see him win Calgary. And this, like, this is like things that, like, a book's made out of, or like,
some of it is, yeah, for sure.
Like,
pretty neat.
Trials 100%. And tribulations.
100%.
Cool dude.
So thanks to Beau for taking the time to be on the show with us, and pretty unreal comments by Shane at the end too.
Oh, to have him jump in?
I got chills when Shane was talking about Beau at the end. I was like, this is freaking so cool.
Yeah, I think we need to get Shane sponsoring the pod with Beau's
Beau's Crab Shack, or I forget what it.
Crawfish and
Crawfish. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to get the official name here.
Yeah, we got to find that.
Yeah, pretty cool story, and he was a great interview.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So coming up though, I'm gonna go to do Cheyenne, be back in Pollockville, head over to Strathmore, then Dawson Creek. Gator's gonna go to Coronation and Elnora. And we talked about, we were in your schedule too, and you were going to be in, we ended up at Bruce. Sunday fun day at Bruce. Then you go to what?
Towfield's putting on a PBR.
Yeah, that's so like you get a weekend off though. There.
Yeah, yeah, we get the long weekend off. So that's exciting because usually we have Bruce, Medicine Hat. Usually end up on the long weekend.
Yeah.
So that and then we go to Pincher Creek.
Yep.
CPRA Rodeo, then Lethbridge.
Oh yeah.
And then out to Merritt.
Oh yeah.
So get the one weekend off, and then we just keep on rocking and rolling. And yeah, always love finishing with those rodeos. There's some fun rodeos. Lethbridge is cool. They get the Indian relay races going after the perfs.
Yeah, it's true.
And did you see some of the shit from Calgary on those relay races?
No, I didn't see much of any of it.
Oh, you should see some of the videos. Those guys had some wild shit going on. Really? It was good. It's like good watching.
Right on.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Right on.
Yeah, really cool. And then out to Merritt and finish it off a little stop in Kelowna yeah.
Right on.
So
be a lot of fun.
It'll be a fun couple weeks, and we'll throw in some new podcasts here along the way. And
yeah, if you got any guests you want to suggest to us, we've got some shows we're going to be working on the next little bit. But yeah, if there's anybody that you want to hear on the show that you maybe haven't heard, or maybe somebody got to go back to and talk to again, but let us know.
Yeah, it's amazing how many times people say, "Hey, this guy would be cool."
It's true.
So
yeah, so let us know.
Yeah, if you've got Kevin Costner on speed dial or Clint Eastwood, yeah, just let him know. Let us know. We're ready.
Yeah. So thanks, Dustin. Thanks for being here.
Yeah,
it's
thanks
good to have you in the house.
Shout out to Storm for putting some nice lights above my bed.
Yeah,
making me feel right at home. We got some lamps. We got some fruit snacks down here.
Yeah, we're rolling now.
Life is good. We are rolling. We had some good.
Life is good at HQ.
Chicken kebabs tonight.
Yeah, outstanding.
Great time.
Good times. Okay, well, thanks everybody for listening. Once again, we're now on the PBR Podcast Network as well. Check out all the other shows as part of the network, and we'll report back to you after. I guess the next show will be sometime in August. So that's coming up. August 9th. So talk to y'all again in a couple weeks. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, it's Cowboy Shit. My name is Ted Stovin. He is Dustin Edwards, and make sure to get your Cowboy Shit. We got some new stuff coming in the month of August as well. It'll be coming out later in the month of August. You'll see us at some retailers August, September, into Christmas online as well. So yeah, stay tuned. CowboyShit.ca. Get your Cowboy Shit merch. See you all next time.